on the Insider Hotline, our buddy, Jamie McLennan. He is Noodles.
There's the family man right there. Yeah.
There he is. Fixing his hair. Great. Got the family man.
I didn't realize it was Jersey Day or hoodie day. I should go up and change, right?
I'm so grumpy. I lost my phone, Noodlers. Lost my phone.
Well, that's why you never text me back. That's the reason why. Honestly,
I just lost it yesterday.
Oh, okay. But that was, I texted him like 2 months ago. He still hasn't written me back.
No,
I was going to put on my Daniel Miramanoff jersey, but I guess I shouldn't be doing that.
He's not going to be wearing it. So
no, that's not fair. Just get a Wranglers jersey. That's fine.
He was handing tickets out last night. Yeah, it was not good. Was he the guy who got walked by Eichel?
Twice,
Yeah, but this is not.
Could have challenged that goal too.
No,
yeah, they could have. But
he pushed his left pad into the.
Okay, goalie.
The puck's still loose. He's following the puck in.
We don't need the points if we're going for McKenna.
Say that again.
That changed the. That was 2-2. That goal made it 3-2. The game was over at that point. You should have challenged that. If it failed, who cares? They're going to score on the power play potentially, anyways. But I was like, why are they not challenging that? Like, even Wolf wanted to be challenged. He got pushed in over the crease, over the line.
Huska talked about a post game. He just said they didn't think they stood a chance of getting overturned.
Well, what did they stand a chance of putting Miramanoff up? Did anyone ask him about that?
I didn't see a Miro question, but they sometimes edit them, keep them a little tighter time-wise on the old internet.
What were your thoughts putting in?
How'd you like
you always
Daniil?
Feel bad smacking a guy about because he's probably trying his best, but he's not there. He wasn't there last year. He was given plenty of opportunity. What is the love affair with trying to do this? I don't understand.
I didn't realize,
coach.
This guy has played close to 100 games in the league. And he's 29 years old. I didn't, or 28, but I didn't realize that he had more experience. He looks like a young guy out there the way he plays. Like, that's the difference. Listen, he's a limited guy. I heard your spirited argument about, making sure that, Parekh. Basically, where do you play him? Who do you play him with? All of that. It is early on. Yes, I didn't love his game. Yes, I didn't. I thought he looked overwhelmed a little bit. But keep in mind, Vegas is a top tier team. Like, that's one of the best teams you're going to face as far as how structurally strong they are. They're heavy. They press on you. Their top players are really good at turning pucks over. A guy like Stone.
They've got a fair bit of talent on that squad as well.
They do. Like, they're one of the top 8, I would say. They're in that top 8 of best teams in the league. So it was a good challenge for them, but there was some overwhelmness on the back end, put it that way. Parekh was one of them, but there was others that are veteran guys that didn't have their best either.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was you're right about what Vegas is, but it was with time and space that it's either tentativeness or it seems casual. Like, he's trying to rim it behind his own net and he blasts it off the outside of the net, and now they're stuck in their own zone. He's looking for a pass at the far blue line and throws it right into someone's skates in front of him. They stay in their own end. Like, it feels like he's absolutely still very early in figuring out what the hell works here, because clearly the plays that led him to 100+ points in the O, they can't all be made in the NHL.
Right. Yeah. A lot of times early on, as a player, you're trying to figure out your spacing. So, you could speak to it, but it's more what I've noticed, guys that are highly skilled, especially like defensemen that were 80, 100 points in the OHL or in junior, they go to try things. Those lanes aren't available at the NHL level. There's just too many layers. There's just too many good players that know how to defend. The time and space, the physicality, the speed, everything, and your decision making. So your process has to be a lot faster because things just happen quicker at the NHL. I think, keep it simple. It certainly works for you, but until you understand like what you can get away with, what you can't, you do have to keep it simple. You do have to be conservative, because if you're trying a home run play, it is going to get turned around pretty quickly and you can look bad. But I agree, having somebody who's stable to play with him. I always look at, like, Erik Karlsson had Mark Mathot. You go back years ago, there was always like a safety valve to play with a guy who was more offensively gifted. Does Calgary have that? And, do they have a guy that they feel can be stable if Parekh wants to step out of his, not out of his comfort zone, but try things that may not, either may or may not work at the NHL level?
Ball's the closest to it. I mean, maybe if he's a left shot, there's someone else, but
I just think you limit Weegar and Anderson if they're trying to
play together.
Not even trying to to play with Parekh. If they're with Parekh, their focus is making sure he doesn't drown, as opposed to.
And that's why I think Ball's the guy.
Yeah, I think Ball is, to me, that's his role. I think he's a very, and I say
he's
this
supposed to be a stabilizing guy.
He's limited. He's a stay-at-home, limited guy. Like, for me, that's the way I look at it. But you should have somebody who transports the puck, play with him, because his job is to do all the muck, the filth and muck. And if Parekh is the guy to play with him, maybe get a partner that you want and play with him for like 5 games and say, is this the guy that we want to play with him? Maybe it is Ball. That's at least try it. You got to try it.
Yeah, I think they're still stuck trying to win hockey games. That might, if they can't score, that's quickly going to change. But anyway, I think Parekh will get plenty of ice time. He'll get plenty of opportunity. And
what is the time frame? Has there been an announcement on Huberdeau? He's
traveling tonight with the team. So whether he plays in Utah or it's Saturday in Vegas, they'll have to make a decision on a winger.
Okay.
Pospisil's not on the trip from what we've heard.
Right. So those are 2 big blows offensively, because I think Huberdeau, well, relative terms, but Huberdeau led them with 65 points, wasn't it, last year?
Roughly, around there, yeah.
Pospisil's a 4th-line banger at this point. Didn't have a great year last year. You'd love to see more, but not much last year offensively.
Huberdeau should help with the goal scoring side. He's got to set things up. But I don't know that it's the.
You're not bringing back a superstar, but it is a 60-plus point guy. That'll many of those. It's right. Lead and score.
He does help. He does help the dynamic. And you're right. If he's able to find somebody in the open with a beautiful pass, that guy gets a clear look. So, I think I always looked at Calgary like I thought it was going to be a struggle for them this season. I think we've all had that conversation. Doesn't look like 96 points. It looks more like high 80s type of thing. And that's if the goalie is giving you a chance. Like, I didn't dislike his game yesterday. He was on top of stuff. It's just, when you play a lot, you're going to get scored on. There's going to be some nights where, 900 save percentage. What were the shots last night? I think I was trying to think in my mind, because is he going to be a 9-10 goaltender this year? Wolf.
29 shots, 3 goals.
Yeah. So
and again, like, you could also just have a defenseman that doesn't let Jack Eichel go right to the net. That, like, the environment's not going to be a great one.
But that's what
one
comes
of his
with
shots. Yeah.
That's what comes with the job.
Yep.
That's, Wolf is going to have to mask those mistakes. And if you even go back to their win against Edmonton, it was at 3-0 that Wolf made some big saves. So that looked like a 6-1 game, right?
So if you're the coach or the GM and you're looking at, and we're 1-3 or whatever, and we got a fluke win in Edmonton, are you starting to get a little bit antsy? Are you worried? Like, I know in Buffalo, they're going to throw everybody out. That's 14 years of no playoffs, but you know what I mean? And like, at some point, people are going to go, hey, we're going to have to win some games here.
You do. But the only thing I would say is, and it's a lot easy. I wouldn't say it's easier, because at the management level, I think they've probably got, a 10-game segment. You got to look at this and go, we got to give it 10 games to see if Parekh can settle in, to see if, what type of seasons these guys are going to have. The one thing I will say that's been consistent, and I've called a couple games live already, I think 4 or 5 games already. I've got to see almost everybody play at least one game. The league has been sloppy. It's been bad hockey. I'm sorry. Like, it's been some really sloppy, and I think it's going to get worse next season when you have a shortened training camp and no fitness testing. So you're going to have all these weird things happening.
What?
But that's the one.
Did they sneak that in the CBA?
What, the fitness test?
We haven't heard anything about this.
Oh God, I'm making a comeback.
There's 0 fitness testing.
Really?
So that's in the CBA. And I think it's funny talking to a few AGMs and managers and stuff. They think it's going to be counterproductive because guys are in shape. I mean, nowadays guys take a week off at the end of the season. They're back skating. They're back.
Yeah, Matt Michkov looks great.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Ovi looks like he's fading away to a mountain right now too. But at the end of the day, it in the coach's mind, when you see a guy struggle out of the gate, you're going to go, he's out of shape. Where nowadays they can look to all the testing and go, this guy's in unbelievable shape. He's had a slow start. So I think it's going to be counterproductive for a short training camp and no fitness testing going, we got to whip these guys into shape. You got to extra workouts after. You got to do all these things where it's probably just natural. They're in great shape. It's just a slow start. So getting back to my original comment, I think the league's been sloppy, but the Flames are a team that is going to struggle 5-on-5 scoring. So you're going to need great goaltending and you're going to have to win 3-2 games. And that is the challenge. Like they were close last night, but close isn't good enough. You don't get a participation badge.
Tonight will be Devin Cooley's first ever start as a Calgary Flame, despite it feeling like he's been around for years. If he's the second best goalie tonight, this is an ugly start.
Yep. He has to. And my hope for him is that, he has some nerves, which is good, positive energy. I hope that the team plays well. It's a weird. So I played in the minors 100 years ago in that same building that it was called the Delta Center. Now they've had in the off season, they had the expansion. So the seats are a little bit more aligned.
See the nets, yeah.
Better. But that team's got speed. That team has speed. They've got skill. I think people sleep on Utah, but they've got some players there. Mm-hmm. And you can't just. I would argue that probably the Flames got into their hotel rooms at 2:30 in the morning last night, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Like it's going to be a real challenge for them. So we'll see what they're made of. As you come back to Cooley, you might need a goaltender steal, or you might need at least to stand on his head in the first period until they get their legs and their minds underneath them. But I'm looking for big things from Cooley because it was kind of a coin flip on who was going to back up Wolf this year because neither one of them were really good in preseason.
So you think he'll be good tonight?
I'm hoping. I mean,
hope sure.
Positive.
He's gonna have to be.
Has the sky fallen in Ottawa? Brady's?
Listen, Tkachuk, that doesn't look good. You get hit, you get pushed from behind, whatever. You reach up to defend yourself. Wrist, hand. I don't know what it is, but they're talking 4 weeks. I'm not calling the game tonight in Buffalo, but I'm calling the game tomorrow, and it'll be interesting to see how now they are getting. There's good news there. They're getting Batherson back, so it's a top 6 forward for them. But they've lost their emotional, their captain, all of that type of stuff. What you need is Tim Stützle, who's had lots of chances early on, finish some of his chances. You need the goaltender who played well the other day against Nashville. UC Saros stole that game. So it is capable. We've watched goaltenders steal games here. That's what I'd like to see Logan Cooley do tonight. Or is it Logan or Devin? Devin. Sorry.
Logan's playing him tonight. He's the Utah forward.
I know, but no relation, right?
Not that we know of. I'm sure if you go far back enough, there's one. But yeah,
I'd like to see Devin Cooley have himself a game where, he would keep the flies off of him too. Yeah. All of a sudden, you have if he plays awesome tonight and gets a win, you're not worried about that position for another couple of weeks. If he doesn't have a good game, what are you guys talking about tomorrow? It's like the goalie, now Connie's got to go and get one or whatever because that position hasn't been stabilized. You're looking for somebody to grab it. The Russian didn't grab it. Cooley got it kind of through default.
Yeah.
And he's a good goaltender, but he's got to show it tonight. It's not how you look on paper.
Don't you wish you were in Buffalo? Because things are going real swell for the Sabres and their fans and the organization. After years and years of finally building, the climb has started.
We're back, baby.
I would love them to be some redemption story. So I had this at the start of the season. I thought to myself, and this isn't a great proclamation. The Atlantic is a hell of a division when you look at it. Mm-hmm. And none of those teams are in rebuilds. If there was a separation for a while there was 4 and 4. Now there's 8. It's just a differing degree of how good they are. But, the Leafs have come down. I think Florida on paper has come down just based on the injuries, the injury to Barkov and Tkachuk. Doesn't mean there's not a brilliant team. It's just on paper they've come down. Tampa, Tampa's had a slow start, but I think they're a fantastic team. I look at Boston having a bounce back year because they shut everybody down and traded Marchand at the deadline. But, we talked about this last week where, Elias Lindholm, Hampus Lindholm, Charlie McAvoy, Swayman starts the season. They look decent. And then Detroit goes and beats Toronto twice in regulation. One, they didn't have any business doing it. Talbot was great, but the other one they played very, very well. So I don't think Detroit is going to take a step back. They're going to be pushing for a playoff spot. Ottawa's going to be pushing should be a playoff team, but listen, stranger things have happened and they might take a step back. But my point being is all these teams. So I throw Buffalo in there. That's the reason why I got long-winded on this. Buffalo on paper has a lot of good players. There's just something there that's just not, it's like they put their skates on and they just go and lose games. I don't know what they do. But if Ottawa thinks they're going to roll in there and just steamroll Buffalo, Buffalo is like a wounded animal right now. I don't know what they're going to do, but I look at Ottawa's got to have a strong game because at some point those guys might get going. And I don't
know. I know what you're saying, and they've been shitty enough for long enough, but that's the problem is they've been shitty enough for long enough that I don't think you can take any trends out of, we've struggled. Well, yeah. You've been together for years. This is not a new group of kids that have just come together. Like Tage Thompson, like that group's been there.
They're 28 years old. Tuck is 29.
Yeah.
Johnson's 28. Dahlin's a hell of a player. Like, Bowen Byram's younger, but like I look at some of the players, they're really good. But then, Peterka was a hell of a player. Got to go. Dylan Cousins, good player. Got to go. Like Josh Norris, you trade for Norris, like injured. He's played 4 games, 2 of them injured. Like it sucks. But at the end of the day, like, and I'll put it back to you guys. If you had one, if somebody said to you, I'm going to make you the president of the Buffalo Sabres, what's your first move?
Coach.
It's
I think Lenny's the wrong guy.
Coach and GM. There's no fucking way Kevin Adams is staying my GM. He's been there long enough and mucked it about.
F sharp.
Sorry, I'm grumpy.
Okay. At the end, so it starts right there and go, okay, we're going to deal with the guy at the top and the guy who's driving the bus behind the bench.
I run all the coaches. I clean a whole clean slate because a lot of those, and they're going to hear this, but a lot of those coaches behind the bench has been there a while.
They're part of the problem.
Listen, there's a lot of good people there. There's a lot of good people in Buffalo. I have a soft spot for them, but it doesn't mean they're doing a great job, and it doesn't mean that you're right. But here's the thing, Rhett. If you go clean sweep, is there a lineup of top tier, you name it, executives putting their hand up and going, I'm moving to Buffalo. I'm going to do, I want, now it could be money, just money. You might have to tell the owner, we're going to have to overspend here. We're going to have to go and get coach X, Y, and Z. It's going to cost you $5-6 million a year. And, oh, by the way, general manager, there's not a lot of them out there that, that you would trust. Like, yes, Jarmo Kekalainen is right there. And Jarmo, I think, is an unbelievable evaluator of talent. He's a great scout. But he has a history of being a manager. But did he take Columbus to, a level that you felt, okay, I want that?
He hired jackass coaches, I'll tell you that.
Fair enough. But what I'm saying, I like Jarmo. But my point being is he the guy that the vision, okay, this is the guy that's going to change the culture or change the vision of my organization? That's the biggest challenge. Like that's because is there somebody out there? Is there, Brendan Shanahan?
No.
Who's like, but here's the thing. The Leafs didn't win anything under him, 10-year plan.
No, but like Matthew Darsh went to the Islanders. That's exactly the type of guy. You want a guy that's worked in a winning organization for 10 years that understands the business. Like, it doesn't have to be a name. Like, it doesn't have to be Lou Lamoriello. Like, who's been a really well-run team for 10 years? Like, go get the AGM in Florida. Like, they probably are going to have a really good idea how to build a good team.
I agree. Greg Campbell would be a guy that I would call. Greg Campbell's an AGM there in Florida. It's a prime example, Pinder. Jim Nill. Dallas Stars put their hand up and said, Jim Nill has been a real good confidant of Ken Holland. And we need you, great scout, all of that type of stuff. Look at that Dallas team is like that organization has drafted, developed, trades, signings. Like it's a top tier organization the way they've done it. So you're right, Pinder. I think you got to go and comb through the league and see who is very respected, but needs to be elevated. And find that person. You're right. It doesn't have to be, they don't have to have cachet. What they have to do is have a plan. And go, this is the plan. And I'm sorry. The weirdest part is whoever takes over has got to go, I can't apologize for 14 years because you might have 3 more years of pain until I sort this mess out. And that's,
So the problem for me is that it isn't the first time they've looked for a GM, and it isn't the first time that you've said maybe this coach isn't the right fit. And so the Sabres haven't been doing exactly what we talked about. They went to a common name with cachet, who I don't think is a fit with a personnel at head coach, and they took a guy in business operations and made him a GM. So we can talk about them going and doing things the right way, but the owner has put people that were not equipped to do the job into these jobs. Like, I believe it was Corey Sarich we talked with a couple of years ago and talked about Lindy Ruff. You're like, motivator of guys not big on structure. Like, you have a young team with players that everyone's saying they're better on paper than they are on the ice. Is not the one thing you should be looking for in a coach, like structure and work ethic?
Yes.
They don't, and you know what? We don't need to keep talking about Buffalo, but they don't feel like a coach and GM away to me, because I'm with you. It's been 14 years. What would the Pittsburgh Penguins be if they never got Sidney Crosby at 1? Like, he got that rink built. He kept that team in Pittsburgh. They didn't need Owen Power at first overall. They didn't need Jack. They needed Connor McDavid. Like, that's what that place needs to rejuvenate. Because you can have a lot of hockey brains. Free agents are still not going to want to come there if things are kind of the way they are. You need something over the top to change it there.
You're right. They got Eichel. But the thing is Eichel's a pretty damn good player.
Looked all right last night.
He just wanted out because he hurt his neck, and I don't know the whole backstory of the doctors and all of that. But it comes back to one word then: culture. Mm-hmm. If you built listen, I grew up in Edmonton. Edmonton's not for everybody. It's not aesthetically. It's a gritty city. All of that type of stuff. If you build a winning situation, or you have a culture that has a belief right now. There are guys that put their hand up and go, yeah, I'll go to Edmonton for 2 years and whatever. Look at the free agents that have come there. They haven't been the right ones. But look at even Roslovic put his hand up the other day and said, I'll take $1.5 million, go and play with McDavid type of thing. Try and get an opportunity. So Buffalo needs to build it. And then people go, I'll go to Buffalo because they've got player X, Y, and Z, or that program is a winning program, or they're a perennial playoff situation. None of that comes with. And then you go, okay, well, maybe Buffalo's not for everybody because of the weather, or because of the tax situation, you name it. I like Buffalo. Rhett, you and I have gone drinking there a few times. It's great. But, is it for everybody? The thing is Buffalo's part of the equation, the city. It's the organization now where you're like, okay, let's get this act together. And then we can, for lack of better words, tolerate the city. That's what's happened in Edmonton. Yeah. Is they've got some players. So it's like, okay, we can tolerate the city. Now, Buffalo doesn't have that. They don't have either. That's what screwed up for them. Yeah.
You think if McDavid is showing the loyalty to Buffalo like he did to the city of Edmonton, how is it different there? Anyway, we can move on. I wanted to ask you about the Rangers, because we saw Chris Drury and the Rangers. Like, they're a long ways away from the Buffalo Sabres in terms of playoff success and that, but it already feels like with JT Miller as the captain. Last night they lose at home again, shutout in 3 straight home games to start the season.
Never happened before in the league.
It just does feel like you can start to set the sticks of dynamite around the New York Rangers because the implosion is coming.
Well, for sure. Because I look at that team, though. We just talk about personalities and culture and that. I played for the New York Rangers. Yes, it was, 2 months in 2004 where the Flames, rightfully so, made the right trade to get Chris Simon. But in that organization, everything stems down from the top. So Jim Dolan, how he runs his business, apparently is very unique. I'll use that word. That's it.
It's for kind of.
But I look at it, it wasn't long ago that I thought, God, that Rangers team I thought was far away, this far away. And now they feel like not light years, but now they are back down in the bottom end of that top group. And I think they're, last year was a write-off. It's a mess, but you've got a top-tier goaltender. Yeah. You had a defenseman that's won the Norris. I don't know. It looked like the legs fell off him last year. Let's see what he has this year. And up front, that's Zibanejad. He's a DJ and, he's kind of a casual person. Good player, but is he a superstar? I think he's a star-ish. Panarin, there's times I always get mad at wingers because sometimes I look at wingers and they're they play a full game and there's dry hair. They haven't even broken a sweat because they're just floating around out there. But Panarin is a shooter, good player. But
with dry hair? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Literally doesn't need a shower. But what is that team? They were supposed to have young players that push through. Kakko and Lafreniere. Kakko had to go. I don't know why. I mean, Trouba, their captain, had to go. I mean,
Kreider had to go.
Kreider had to go.
Yeah.
Pretty good players. I just don't know with what they've filled it in as. Keandre Miller had to go.
Yeah, I don't. That's what, for me, I don't understand. Drury all of a sudden decide they won the bloody President's Trophy and go to the semifinals, and you're dismantling.
Yeah.
Or came across as dismantling. I don't know.
They were this close away, I thought. Just keep coming back and keep pushing the envelope. And now it's okay, they're not a threat. Now we'll see. I mean, maybe they get their act together, but it just is something's not right there. I don't know what it is.
They also played 5 games in the first week of the season, so it was a tough schedule. They won both their road games. They're a game under 500. It's been ugly at home. It really has. But I'm not ready to throw the towel in on them yet. There's too many skill players.
That's why I said they've come down. I thought they were a top-tier team. They're at the bottom end of the top tiers. I still think they have an opportunity to push. But I look on paper, I think they're a weaker team than they were a couple of years ago, which is, that's what's disappointing. Instead, you're supposed to be growing instead of taking a step back.
Rhett's been having a bad. Can you do something to cheer Rhett up? Can you give him some news or something?
Hey, don't you owe me cheese toast or something?
Yeah, it's getting late. What's the juice on that?
What was that?
Yeah.
That was the Nashville.
Actually, that's a good team to ask about because these guys last year, just like you, they're all drinking the Kool-Aid. Nashville. I'm the only one with the brain and some foresight. And now everyone's throwing the towel in on Nashville. Is there any chance they can bounce back, or is this?
I watched them beat Ottawa the other night, and UC Saros was unbelievable. They were no good last night. Well, who was no good was their goaltender, that Antonin.
Yeah,
Justus Antonin.
Antonin.
Yeah, he was in Colorado for a while there before they moved everyone out.
Yeah,
he's got a huge head. I know that.
Jeez.
I was standing beside him in between the benches. Was it Monday afternoon? And he's got a bucket on him. He's 6'5", 6'6". There was 2 goals against the Leafs yesterday where he was just out of the either out of the net or lost. It was weird. You go back and watch John Tavares' goal. He over pushes. There's about a foot of net coverage because he's pushed so far from left to right. And then you look at Bobby McMahon's goal yesterday. I know Brady Shea reaches in, but he doesn't react. It's just what's going on there? Saros is an unbelievable goalie, top 5 for me, but their backup's not very good, and he didn't play very well yesterday. And that game was 7-4. It could have been, honestly, because Caden Primo played his first game for the Leafs. It wasn't a goalie duel last night. It really wasn't. It was, but I think Nashville's. I talked to Ryan O'Reilly the other day. He thinks that they're going to surprise some teams because the expectations are so low for them, and they do have good players. Like Marchessault looked good. Stamkos looks engaged. Roman Yossi is healthy. Brady Shea was actually skating well. Their goaltender looks good. So they do have the framework of some pretty, and they got some good young players too. That Evangelista is a nice player, and they've got a couple of young players that are coming. So I think they're gonna push for a playoff spot. I don't know if they'll make it. Depends on everybody around, but they're gonna be a lot better. They're gonna be a lot better. I'm gonna get my cheese toast back from.
If their goalie is a 947, I like them. That's where he's at, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
he's been their best player by a mile.
He's been so good, so good. Good.
Does that make you feel better? Is that what you were hoping for?
I just want the cheese toast. He's been to town numerous times. He texts when he's leaving.
Big shot. He's got all these companies he owns out here.
To get
you
the
look
text.
healthy. You look healthier than you did last week.
It'll be light on the cheese toast because I'm not eating as much as I used to. So you're in a win here.
Established that it's not Ozempic, though, right?
No way. I don't do drugs.
Somebody told me there was something.
I don't.
He only does psychedelics.
I just do uppers.
Last two things. So whose head is bigger, Justus Annunen or Vasilevsky? Because I think you characterized him as a mascot one time.
Yeah, Vasilevsky's like everything about him. He's just. I mean, Anthony. These guys are giant men. So it's just like everything about like giant heads, shoulders, everything. Vasilevsky his just features are so predominant. Like he's got this big head and his eyes are like a little bit like they're huge. I can't explain it.
There's like a praying mantis. That's what you're describing here.
Big man. He's a nice guy. And he's actually one of like my favorite goaltenders of all time. I've loved Vasilevsky for years. He's so talented. And I got a chance to, see him and watch him play the other day against Ottawa. But, Tampa's their team. What they give it away last night, didn't they? I think they lost. Yeah, but they're a good team. They're a good team. But I think both of their Antonin and Vasilevsky's heads are about the same. They're about the size of this TV right here.
How's youth hockey this year? Is everything settled in? Or is it the big fella ready to roll?
Well, there's no, because there's my son's 8. Okay. I don't get involved in it, but there's the parents, I don't know what's going on. They're all lovely, but minor hockey in Toronto and the GTA is another level. I'm hearing stories on other teams where coaches are fired and changing teams and all of this stuff. And hey, are you, are you I had a coach call hey, what are you doing for next year for AAA? I'm like, it's October. We're just started this season. What are we doing for next year? I don't know. I don't know. This minor hockey stuff it's too much. The parents are very, very intense.
Well,
lovely people, intense though. Very intense.
It's not fair. You guys had to wait till 31 till free agency. Kids have it at 8 now. That's just not fair to you guys. If you were free agents at 8, imagine how much more money you would have made.
I'm hoping somebody makes an offer. You hear all these stories where Patrick Kane's dad got a cash envelope or a duffel bag full of cash or something like that. I would love that.
They'll be out there, Noodles. Just keep them rolling.
You'll find them. You're good at business. Yeah.
It's coming.
It would be nice, but
pay for the cheese toast.
Free food, free Saint Hubert or free PF Chang's or something like that. That's what I would want.
And how's Hazy B and everybody doing with the Blue Jays?
Well, I mean, there's still hope, right? Pinder's got his uniform on. He's ready for tonight's game.
He's going on he's so rich. He's private jet after the show.
Saving money. Commercial flights, way more. Not even close.
You're going to Seattle. Good for you.
Take off in less than 2 hours.
And
nice.
The skinny guy to my right, he's going to Nashville. So they're both.
Wow.
Times are tough.
Just take an envelope. If you're going to Nashville, take your meal money and hand it to the guy at Tootsie's and ask him to play chicken fried 20 times in a row. That's what I did.
How'd that
So,
go?
Went well from what I remember. I've had 100 drinks.
Chicken
So-
fried how many times?
100.
Well, no, it was 20. I was reasonable.
Jeez.
Well, my meal money it was a big envelope. I had
The per diem, eh?
I said we were on a long road trip, and I just said, "Here, you take this, but you need to play chicken fried 20 times in a row." And they did it too.
Did people just love it, or were they want to kill you?
Well, the crowd went nuts by the end because we were like, everyone singing and dancing. And like the guy held up the envelope, and he's like, "This guy has paid us this, some money to play chicken fried 20 times in a row. Are you guys down for this?" And people were like, "Ah!" It was awesome.
Jeez.
We now have a move for Nashville,
There
boys.
we go.
Tootsies. That's it.
I'm not sure our per diem envelopes are the same
Yeah,
No,
right
no.
now.
as what
no,
Noodles would have
that's
had
true.
there.
Jeez.
It was a long road trip, so the envelope was a little thicker. Put it
Yeah.
that way.
Love you, Noodles.
See you, buddy.
All right, guys.
Hey, buddies, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Also, if you could throw in a like and subscribe, it does help us out with what it is we are doing. And check out more at flamesnation.ca.